Hello and welcome again to another episode of Orgullo Hispano. We're so glad that you have decided to join us today. Before I introduce my wonderful guest, I would like to take this time to really thank our sponsors who have made this podcast available. I want to thank the Leadership Empowerment Group for their continued support, as well as one of our new sponsors, the Office of External Affairs at Baylor University. Thank you to these prestigious organizations and businesses that have really made this podcast available and possible. I would like to introduce now our special guest for the day. A lot of you probably know her because you see her out in the community, and not to mention her husband, which not the better half, but Tracy's the better half, but her husband, Keith, is also on the Waco ISD School Board. So Tracy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
I appreciate you being here, and I was excited to hear about the event that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But if for some reason there was someone that didn't know you and Keith, tell us a little bit about you guys and what do you do in the community, if you don't mind, please.
I don't mind at all. So as you mentioned, my husband is a Waco ISD board trustee, and he's also a fire marshal for the city of Waco, peace officer. So that's very active in the community. Our family lives in the city of Waco.
Wonderful.
Our kids graduated from Waco High. We have one that's in college.
Well, we won't hold Waco High against you.
Please don't. Please,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Beautiful school. But yeah, so our older two graduated from Waco High, one in 2020 and one in 2021.
Wonderful.
They're now in college. One's at Prairie View and one's at UNT Arlington, doing fabulous. We're very proud of them.
Love
we also
it.
have a 9-year-old daughter, Summer, that's in the ninth grade, the fourth grade at Hillcrest PDS.
Wonderful.
So we're very advocate for Waco ISD schools and love Waco ISD schools. And we also have a few nonprofits that we do in the community. The main name for the nonprofit is Tell the World Ministries. But under that umbrella, we have Forever Young Scholarship Fund, where we give graduating high school seniors scholarships for their continuing education.
Wonderful.
Thank you. In memory and honor of Sakara Young that was killed due to
tragically
domestic
killed.
violence. Yes. And we also have Lit Waco, which is Literacy Intervention Team, and then it's Waco. And that's the literacy component of the nonprofit. So yeah, we're just a little busy.
And not to mention, both of you have full-time jobs on top of that.
We do.
Raising a family. Mm-hmm. So when do you sleep?
We get about 3-4. No. We get some good hours in here and there. We also have a real estate business. So so it's busy, but it's enjoyable, and we're honored to do all of it. So
Wonderful. Yes. Well, and first of all, before we begin to talking about the upcoming event, I want to thank you and Keith for just being such community advocates.
Thank you.
For our children. Being my wife and I products of Waco ISD, our kids are in Waco ISD. We believe in the school district in Waco ISD, and so we love it when we see adults and people and leaders in our community that are just such advocates for our babies. And so I really appreciate that part from you guys as well.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Ma'am. But I know we are really here to talk about a cool event that is coming up in February.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think you were telling me earlier, it's the first of its kind in Waco, possibly the first of its kind in the Central Texas area.
Correct.
Tell our audience the name of the event and what it is, please.
It is called Cen-tex Teen Bookfest on the Brazos.
Okay.
It is a book fest. And so when people
Which
hear
is
about
different from a book fair.
Book fair.
Okay.
Yes. So when you hear about a book fair, you think about tables being set out, hundreds of books, people coming in, looking at the books and kind of figure out, oh, okay, I'll buy this one and I'll read it, take it home, bam, you're done. A book fest is a lot more interactive than that, which is why we're so excited about it. We actually have the authors that wrote those books at this event. Yes. So not only will the students be able to come in and get a book, but they'll be able to read, shake hands, and talk to and question the authors that wrote the
actual
book.
authors.
Correct.
That is amazing.
Yes. And so there's a lot of different things that go on in a book fest. We're starting out with writing workshops, literary workshops. We have a comic book workshop as well. We have Waco Plus Comics coming, so it's going to be very exciting, especially for our young boys that love comic books.
That are into comic books, absolutely.
And girls, but some of our young boys. We also have a literary cosplay contest where you can dress up as your favorite character of a book.
Wonderful.
Yes, and you win a prize for that. We have door prizes. We have storytelling. We have engaging author panels. We have a lot of great events coming, and also Artist in You is going to be doing some face painting there. So it's an exciting and engaging event for the community, and we're just so excited about it.
So what made you and Keith really be motivated to do something like this in the Waco area?
Well, I have to give homage to my husband.
Okay.
Because Lit Waco was his dream and it was his baby. He puts this story out there all the time. He was a struggling reader in school, and he moved with his grandparents, and his grandmother read his first novel to him when he was in high school.
Wow.
And if you look at him now, you would never know.
You would never guess
you would
that.
Never know.
Agreed.
But it was a struggle for him, and it was a journey. And he got through that hurdle just by his grandmother reading one novel to him. Now he can't put a book down.
I love it. I love it.
And so he's always reading and things like that. But he wanted to make a difference in other youth that were struggling readers or that had issues with the literacy, because he knew the obstacles and things that he had to overcome.
Sure.
And so he's like, okay, well, why don't we do a literacy nonprofit? And he's the dreamer. He dreams it up, and then he gives it to me, and then he's
you're the doer. You make it happen.
I make it happen. Definitely teamwork, though. Definitely
Absolutely.
teamwork. But yeah, so we sat down and we prayed about it, and we're like, okay, this piece needs to happen, and we do this and do that. And at that time, we were very active at Carver. It was GW Carver Middle School at the time, and under Principal McAdoo's leadership, we met with him and we said, hey, we have this literacy nonprofit that we really want to bring into the middle school. And he so graciously was like, heck yeah, what do you mean? Like,
he welcomed all the help, yes.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so that was the birthplace of Lit Waco. We met with students there. We started a literacy camp that we held the entire summer back in 2016. We're trying to continue the summer camps on, but the leadership, started changing at the school. And under Principal Perry's leadership, it was going to start over again. But unfortunately, Lord rest his soul. And so we're just kind of waiting until we can get back into the schools because of the pandemic and things of that nature. And so
they kind of put things on pause.
And then we had started Forever Young, and that's still active. So we're like, okay, we really need to get this literacy component active. It's necessary. God gave it to us for a reason.
Yes.
And it's not just to do one, year and then put it under the table. And so we started thinking, and we're like, okay, we need to do a book fest. We're hearing a lot of our youth going to or trying to go out of town to a book fest. Why not have it here in
our own backyard?
Our own backyard.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I called one of my great best friends, Miracle Austin. She's a local author here. And I said, this is what we're thinking. And she's like, of course, let's do it. And they're like, okay. And it's like, again, we gave her that and she just took it and ran with it. And we've been planning it ever since. It's been 2 years in the making, but we're so excited. And we're thrilled to be able to do this in the community. It's been a blessing.
Love it. So let's talk about the event a little bit. The Book Fest is taking place, and correct me if I'm wrong, on Saturday, February 11th.
Correct.
10 to 5 p.m.
Correct.
Where are we having it at?
It is going to be at Carver Indian Spring Middle School United.
Wonderful. And do students and parents have to pay to get in?
They do not. It is free and
so
open
it's
to
free.
The public. Yes, absolutely. Everything. Now, as the students come in, they will receive a book.
Okay.
And we're going to make sure that we give children's books in middle grade and young adult, the high school books. But we're going to also have authors sell their books there.
Okay.
So
if they want to purchase them.
If they want to purchase, they are able to do so.
Sure.
However, the event is free and open to the public. There's no admission fee. There's no registration fee or anything like that. So yeah.
Wonderful. And so students of all ages, whether elementary, middle, high school.
Absolutely.
And parents as well.
Parents as well. We definitely want parents to come out. We want to not only engage the students, but engage the parents as well. Parent may find a book that they're interested in there.
Exactly.
But we want to make sure that they all know that literacy is exciting.
Right.
It's important. It's
Right.
creative. It's not boring. Once you find that topic that you're interested in, it will really take off. So we're so excited about it.
And Tracy, is it books of all types, whether it's fiction or sci-fi or
absolutely
anything? Okay.
Anything, yes.
we were talking earlier, and I think you said something very powerful that students today, especially our younger generation, they're so geared to, let me go for the iPad, or let me go for the video game, or let me get online for social media. And I think as a society, we can't blame the kids on this, but as a society, we've lost that love for reading, like an actual reading a book. And so hosting an event like this, I'm so excited that our kids will have the opportunity for them to say, this is actually really cool. I'm enjoying this.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And as they come in, as I mentioned, they're going to be getting a book. So the goal is to start their library or continue their personal library.
Sure.
So, some kids may not have access to just be able to keep a book, and so that's what we're focusing on. It's like, okay, start their reading library or add to their reading library. So,
and one of the things that I want to ask, Tracy, one of the things that we were talking about earlier is that there will also be a panel of authors. Is that correct?
Very diverse panel.
But so let's talk about that a little bit, the diversity of the panel that you're going to have there that day.
Yes. So we looked at the demographics of not only our community, but the demographics of our students in our schools.
Okay.
And we said, okay, we want a very diverse author panel. So
Sure.
we have Hispanic authors, award-winning Hispanic authors, Latino authors. We have award-winning African-American authors,
Absolutely,
as well as Caucasian authors.
So these are authors that are just saying, hey, I put out one book and showcase my book and I'm going to be there.
Not at all.
These are the real deal.
The real deal, yes. Award-winning authors that are well-known, that have been to many different book fests around the country and that are personally invited to book fest. One of the authors, her name is DC Gomez, and she is an award-winning author with USA Today best-selling reading author.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so we're excited to have her. We also have Manuel Ruiz. He is another Latino author. And we also have Marcia Mickelson from Guatemala. And we also have Guadalupe McCall. She's another award-winning author. So,
I love it.
And that's just a brief synopsis of our panel.
And so the cool thing I think about it is that students are going to be able to look at these authors and see themselves in that role.
Absolutely.
And I just think that is so powerful.
It is.
When, we talk about educators and teachers, that the students can see themselves in their educators and teachers and principals and school governing body, et cetera, things like that. But that goes beyond that. It goes with doctors and attorneys and authors. And so that are babies. And I say our babies because I have little ones and I take it seriously that our community can see that there are people that look just like them in those roles.
Right.
And how cool is that?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of this event.
Yep. Yeah. And what are you and Keith hoping to accomplish through this book fest?
Number one, promoting literacy throughout our community and engaging the students in a way that they develop a love and excitement for it again.
Sure.
And see the creativity in it. And to also reach all youth.
Right.
And it definitely within our Waco ISD system. Sure. Just engaging them. We hope that a lot of students do come out and they're excited and they enjoy the event because it is going to be an annual event. This is the first.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. It's an annual event. Yes.
It is an annual event.
Wonderful.
This is the very first one, but it's definitely an annual event. So we're excited.
And then as far as you said Waco ISD students, but is it just for Waco ISD students or is it open to any student in the area?
It's open to any student in the area and beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to target our Waco ISD students.
Sure.
However, it is open to any area.
And it's free for anyone.
It is free for anyone that walks to those doors.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And then one more thing I'm going to ask you is, as parents bring their students to the book fest, what is the message that you hope that the parents will grasp through this book fest?
That's a good question. I would have to focus just on how important literacy is.
Sure.
I would have to focus on that and how important, but how exciting and fun it could be.
Right.
And to go back to the basics. Like, I remember when I was growing up, I'm gonna tell my age a little bit, but I remember I remember when I was growing up, I didn't have any access to electronics. We didn't have a computer.
Correct.
There was no
Same.
iPhone. There was no iPad. Those things hadn't even been invented, maybe thought of, but not invented yet. And it was going outside, playing with friends, getting that that part, but also reading.
Yes.
And that's what we hope that our youth go back to. Reading it opens up so many avenues and so many doors when you can read, understand, comprehend. The world is your oyster, and so getting our parents back to making sure our students are literate and reading, that's the most important thing.
And I even think, just from personally speaking, like reading with our kids, the bonding that takes place between a parent and their student as you read together.
That too. Statistics show, and I don't know the exact number or the percentage, but statistics show that when men read to their children, they grasp the words better, they learn faster.
You hear that, daddies?
Yes, and it was so shocking to me because as a mother, you would think, it's it's mom's reading.
The nurturing mom.
It is not. It's the father's reading.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes,
it is amazing.
It is. And so my daughter started out reading with her father in the womb. He would read to my stomach. And then when she popped out, he was reading to her.
Good.
And they do this. It's still now. She's 9 years old. She'll be 10 in June. They still do that. They'll grab a novel. They'll set up some pillows on the floor.
Love it.
And they'll read a couple of chapters every night. But I've also seen the difference that it's made in her academics and her reading level and her English, language. And it's been phenomenal to just watch it unfold. And it's like, man, that statistic is really true.
Right.
So yeah, it's very, very important, especially for the fathers, to read to their children. Yeah.
So if people wanted more information on the Book Fest, Tracy, where could they go? Could they go somewhere online or call somewhere? Or
Absolutely. So there's two things. We're still getting our website up and running for Lit Waco. However, they can go to the Facebook page, which is Lit Waco Facebook, and they can also contact me personally. Do you want me to tell?
Yes, please.
Okay, my telephone number is 254-313-8538. You can call or text me if you have any questions or need more information about it, or need a flyer. If you would like to promote a flyer in your business, I can drop off flyers as well. If you'd like to become a sponsor, hint, hint.
Let's talk about that. Well, if someone wants to be a sponsor, what do they do?
They contact me
as
well. We are a registered nonprofit with the IRS, so it will be a tax write-off.
Sure.
We can give you the EIN number and things like that when they need it. But yes, if they want to become a sponsor, just contact me and we'll get.
Because I'm sure there are costs that go into putting on an event like this.
Absolutely, there are big costs. But with the first event, you always have to kind of like get that off the ground, and then people are like, "Okay, you're actually legit and serious." Yeah, we are.
Right.
But I do. While I have this opportunity, I want to take time to thank our sponsors.
Yes, please
because
do.
without them, there's no way that we could have done this event at all. So we've had some tremendous support from the community.
Wonderful.
And just to name a few, HEB, TFNB, Your Bank for Life, John with University Mazda Kia.
He's a good guy.
Oh, gosh.
He's a good guy.
Yes, him and his wife are just amazing. Benchmark Construction and Catastrophe Consult. It's a whole and Courtyard by Marriott. I mean, they've been amazing. Christie's Burgers out in Belmead. Kish Car Care, Robert and Patricia Miller, the Whitehead family. Who else? Oh gosh, I'll be missing some people. McDonald's, the K's Corporation. I mean, we've had so many amazing sponsors. Community Bank and Trust. So, and that's just naming a few.
That's just a few. That's amazing.
We've had a total of 15 sponsors.
That is wonderful.
Yes. So I hope if I didn't say their name,
yes. Well, and like you said, because of their generosity, this event is possible.
That's why this event is taking place. Absolutely. So we are very thankful for all of our sponsors. No amount is too small when it comes to an event of this magnitude. And so we are very grateful and we're very thankful for them.
And the least, if someone says, well, I just don't have money to give, it's okay because you can attend.
You can attend.
And that's another way of supporting.
That is a way to support. Absolutely. You can attend. You can spread the word. You can get, if you know 10 friends that have 10 students.
Correct.
That is helping with this event, because attendance is important as well, to make sure that we have the proper attendance so that we can have another event like this next year. Yeah. So
before we wrap up, let's talk about it one more time. So the Cen-tex bookfest.
Cen-tex team bookfest on the Brazos.
On the Brazos. There you go.
Said it 100 times. Now
you get used to it.
Rolls off my tongue. Yes.
It's taking place on
February the 11th.
Starting at
10 o'clock.
And then where, please?
It is at Indian Spring Carver Middle School United. It is 500 University Park Drive.
And it is absolutely free to the community.
Correct.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Tracy, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you sharing this wonderful event through this channel. And I'm hoping that our audience that's tuning in is listening and really get excited that we can support events like this that are so beneficial for our community, for our babies, for our children, but even for us as parents as well. And before we end, once again, I want to thank our sponsors for making this podcast available, the Leadership Empowerment Group, and of course, the Office of External Affairs at Baylor University. Tracy, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been an honor, Hector. And thank you for allowing me to come on this radio show to promote this event. So
anytime.
I appreciate you.
You guys are welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
This episode of Orgullo Hispano was made possible through the generosity of these sponsors. The Hispanic Leaders Network is a nonprofit 501c3 organization. Our vision is to develop and empower current and future leaders to make a difference in the community. To sponsor a future Orgullo Hispano podcast episode, email hlnwaco@hln-waco.org or visit the HLN website at www.hlnwaco.org.